So everyone is talking about how the new ranked act has been hell. People have gone from immortal to iron, if you believe the TikToks and YouTube shorts that is. They're constantly talking of how Riot has broken ranked, ELO hell, and a lot of confusion and anger. But what if I told you this was all meant to happen, and that there are some simple ways to get around this, or to just be less mad and confused? Here are my 4 tips for dealing with the new ranked act and why it's happened. But before we get into this video, if you are new around here, my name is John and I am your low rank guru, giving you all the tips and tricks you need to progress from lower ranks as someone who's actually been there and done that, rather than someone who has basically been immortal and radiant since episode 1. If you are looking for tips and tricks videos, VOD reviews, esports and general Valorant news and updates, you should hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. And if you end up finding this video useful, drop it a like so I know what works for people and what doesn't, so I can continue making great videos for you guys. So before we talk about how to get through the new act hell, we first got to realise why it's like this, as I can only assume that a lot of people don't know what actually happens with ranks, resets and MMR, or that people online are just impression farming. So in pretty much every single title that has a rank system, you have 2 sets of ranks: the very hidden MMR or matchmaking rating, and the very public rank. Your rank is the thing you see on your career, your gun buddy, and what those toxic teammates constantly bring up after checking you on Valorant Tracker. Your MMR is how Riot puts you into games, affects how much RR you get per game, determines whether or not you get a double rank up or a single rank up, and when it comes to resets, determines your rank. Some games show you your MMR, but this is different to your rank and the rank progression. So for Valorant, if you are gold 3 and 50 RR, that doesn't directly equate to what would be 1150 MMR, factoring in all of the RR for the ranks prior. And this is why you might be gold 3, but play with and against Plat, or sometimes against lower ranked players. Your MMR is a skill rating depending on how you performed, your wins, your losses, and gives the game the most accurate sense of who you should be playing with and against. Now in a rank reset, it doesn't just reset your rank, it resets your MMR, which is why some people will get into ranked games and be placed with and against teammates who finish massively higher or massively lower than they did last act. Now from the looks of it, Valorant doesn't do a complete reset, like setting everyone to the exact same MMR, but it does look like people from similar ratings all get reset to the same one. So for example, Plat to Ascendants all get put to an MMR of around about the same. Now when it comes to assigning a rank to people, and I think this is the bit where people forget, Riot aren't going to put you directly into the rank that you want or think you deserve, or even what your MMR says that you deserve. Because guess what? There is a chance if you do that, you aren't going to play Valorant as much, or at least you're not going to play ranked that much. And this is what they've done, and they will always will do, and that's what almost every other game does, is place you slightly lower than what your MMR is telling the game you should be in, so that you have to work for that rank to make sure that you are still good, but also to give you a reason to play. The game is purposely setting you back because it wants you to grind out the games, it wants to keep you engaged, it wants to give you something to push and play for. Otherwise, if your MMR was stating that you should be around about Ascendant and you got placed into Ascendant easily and last act you finished Diamond or you finished Ascendant, you might just think, well, I've done what I need to do, there's no point in me playing ranked this act, I'll just chill and wait for the next one. With that point, why would there be any reason to put you in a higher rank than what your MMR is? So with all this in mind, tip number 1 on how to conquer this current ranked act is accept that you are going to be in lobbies with people massively higher or massively lower than you were last act. Let's put it this way. If your MMR at the beginning of last episode was around Plat, but you played a good chunk of Valorant each act, enough to physically grind your way up to Ascendant, your MMR potentially is there with you, or it could actually even be a little bit lower and you have actually outperformed what the MMR rating for you is or where it thinks that you should be. MMR isn't directly linked. It's just a suggestion for where the game thinks you should be and is then potentially used for where you should get placed in your ranks. You potentially only got to that rank by playing a large amount of games. Now you've been set back and set back with people who technically have a similar MMR to you, but maybe only placed silver or gold and didn't play that many games. The MMR bracket is close enough to set you both to a similar point, so for your placements, you'll go into this, see what the person placed last time and gone, why am I playing with silvers? This just isn't fair. This can also work in the same way, maybe if you finish Diamond last act, but only play a few games per act, and then you've been placed maybe plat or even gold for this reset, and you're going to then start playing ranked games with people right now that potentially have been playing since the first day of the new act, that have been grinding games out and actually play silver last act and have managed to grind their way up after getting a few easy wins with the new rank reset. I know this isn't a direct way to deal with what is going on, but just appreciating that this is going to happen more and this is going to be the way it's going to be, at least for probably the first month of this act, will hopefully allow you to put you in a mindset where you're not going to tilt every game, where it's not going to be a confusion, it's not going to be a surprise. Like, I've got to be honest, I think if people are still being confused as to why they're getting placed with people that are way different ranks to them, they're either kidding themselves or, again, they may be farming for impressions. I don't know. Or maybe you just don't understand how the rank reset works, and hopefully this has given you some understanding of it. Tip number 2, don't be scared of higher ranked players. I get it, you pick up an enemy's gun and see a gun buddy that is way higher than the rank that you finished last act, but everyone is in that game because the game thinks you should be there at this moment in time. Your MMR is stating that it should be in this region. So that means you can beat them, regardless of whether or not they were good last act or not. They might be mechanically better than you or have a better game sense, but that doesn't mean they are indestructible. I think a lot of people see higher ranked players or smurfs and think they just can't win. These guys aren't pros, and even if they were pros, they're all human, and humans make mistakes. So don't worry, they will slip up at some point and you can beat them. More often than not, I like to see high-ranked players or smurfs in my game because it gives me a perfect opportunity to play the best I can and prove one of two things. Either A, I can beat them, which means that I am probably better than where I currently am and I deserve to be at a higher rank, or B, it means that I've got some way to improve. I can be beaten by these guys because they're potentially more mechanical than I am, or they make better decisions than I do, and I can use that to improve on myself. I think the best thing with playing against ranked players is using it as an opportunity for either checking where you are and how good you're currently playing, or using it as a tool to improve. I would honestly recommend that most people play with people that are slightly higher than they are if you can get that opportunity, because it will help you grow in the long run. Tip number 3, don't focus on your rank for now. Now, I know this is really stupid, like, why would we even play ranked if we don't care about our ranks? But just hear me out on this one. Everyone, and I mean everyone, is currently lower than they expected to be, or lower than they were last act. So most people are going to be desperate to rank up right now. Combine that with all the other points I've made of having games with lower skilled players or higher skilled players being in your game, and you're going to have some lobbies filled with people making mistakes, feeling pressure, and not playing to their best. The way I see it right now, you have two choices in these situations. You either join the people that are massively concerned about their ranked, really focusing on trying to rank up and getting to where they were last act, or you can focus on your gameplay, continue to focus on what you are doing well, what needs to be improved, all the things I've made videos about before, which is going to set you apart from pretty much 80% of the people that are playing this game right now. If you can play better, you are more likely to win. It is that simple. Spend your time focusing on whether or not you are going to rank up this game or rank up the next game. You are just going to be focused purely on the win or the loss, not whether or not you're playing well, whether or not you're making mistakes, and what you can improve on. And in the long run, you are just going to stagnate or not improve, or maybe even regress and play worse this act. At the end of the day, like I said, it's going to be like this for a while. The game is set to be like this for a while, so you are going to be lower. If you take tip number 1 into consideration and appreciate that, yes, we're going to be in a lower rank, we're going to get these weird lobbies for now, but I can improve going forward, then you are more likely to rank up and actually better what rank you got last act by just focusing on you right now rather than the act and the rank. And tip number 4, and I don't say this a lot, but don't solo queue. I would normally say solo queuing is the best thing to do for you because it allows you to focus solely on your gameplay and improving yourself. But right now, if you do want to just rank up, have better games, and not worry about the hassle of potentially having lower ranked teammates, higher ranked teammates ruining games, or just the mess that this act is currently giving people, then don't solo queue. Have a few friends to play with you, and in that way, the numerical chance of you having someone that is going to be a lower rank, or having someone that is way higher than you that's just going to stomp the game and kind of make your experience a little bit boring is going to help. Now, I'm not saying stop focusing on improvement. That should always be the number 1 focus. That is the best way that you are going to improve your rank over time, is focusing on you and what you can do better. But this is the best way to rule out any potential of having lower ranked teammates or just messy lobbies like you have done pretty much throughout this act that anyone's played so far. I would suggest as well is that if you can queue with teammates that are a similar rank or slightly higher than you, this will help playing against people that are similar level. Again, if there's more people of a similar MMR and a similar rank, it should start leveling out who you're playing against. But also if they're slightly better than you, as I said in tip number 3, it gives you that opportunity to play against better players and improve whilst you're also trying to then rank up in this game. And now I know some people out there might say queue with a bunch of people that are lower than you. That will help you rank up early. But honestly, that is boosting. Like, if anyone wants to say it otherwise, that is boosting. And if you are doing that, or if you are boosting with someone, or someone is boosting you, it's just sad. I don't think there's anything cool about getting to a rank in a way that's slightly artificial. I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's an easy win. I don't think it shows anything. It's just sad. But anyway, that's my opinion. I think boosting sucks. I think most people think boosting sucks. And if you don't think it sucks, sure, tell me why in the comments. I'm happy to hear it. So hopefully this gave you some tips on how to at least overcome the issues that 90% of the player base are currently dealing with right now, and giving you some things to think about to win more games this act. I honestly like looking at the psychological aspects of people playing and how we can win games. So if you guys like it as well, please drop this video a like. It will really help me figure out whether or not this is something you want to continue seeing. Or if it's not something you like, drop it in the comments and tell me. I want to make sure that all the videos I put out there are actually helping people. So I'm happy to hear what you guys think you need to hear. But anyway, thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.